And here we are in the Magic Crafters world. This is one of the, I don't know, one of the most unique and more vibrant looking worlds in the game. It was in the original as well. Well, what a great way to start an episode. Lovely. And the first thing that you encounter in this world is a freaking thief. Ugh. Catch up to him quick enough, then he's pretty easy to get. Because usually, he goes down this pathway here, and he hops up on this wall. And as you can see, it's impossible to get up on that wall. So the only way to get to him, if he does that, is to go all the way back around and wait for him to come back down. Here's our first enemy in the Magic Crafters world. I've actually never seen that animation before. That was really cool. As you can see, he is a weird-looking fella, which just makes me want to defeat him more. And now we get our first glimpse of what the Magic Crafters Dragons looks like, with Cosmos and Wanda.
Welcome to Magic Crafters. I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
And that's the main thing that you want to do in this world, is get all the thieves, because the majority of the thieves... God, that's satisfying. The majority of the egg thieves in this game are actually in this world. And actually the remainder of the thieves are in this world. There's 3 other homeworlds besides this one that have absolutely no egg thieves. And this is also the level that introduces these green druids here that like manipulate the environment to their liking. So you try to get this guy and BAM! Suddenly there's a stone wall. But if you're quick enough, then you can... Well, that was pathetic. Let me try that again. Like this, you can defeat them, or you can just write it up with them. And they just laugh at you anyway, because... I don't know, maybe he's just laughing because he's accepting death and he's partially going insane. Either way, he's dead now, and oh my gosh, that was kinda brutal what I just did to him. He landed on this, and then he, like, flopped down into the water below. Jeez, what a way to go. And another thing with these windmill chests here, that if you aim it just right, I should be able to do this. The shrapnel tends to land on any nearby enemies, which is really cool. That was also a feature in the original. Get these guys over here, because yeah, they're just sitting pretty. Let's go to this level first, Alpine Ridge, another one of my favorite levels in the game. I have yet to visit my favorite level in the game, like, period, but this is pretty up there. Alright, get these gems that are straggling at the end here, and oh my gosh, look at this. That big ol' orange dude looks so ferocious. But look at the kinds of fruit that the other enemy is throwing at them. Don't they look strangely like Wumpa fruit? From, the Crash games? I'd say that's a nice little Easter egg. Oh my god, did he actually catch one for once? Good. And now he's dead. Now this guy's a bit annoying because he's like right by the edge here. Ugh. There we go. Nice little slide whistle effect there. Or just whistle effect. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my butt handed to me here. Get this guy before this block over here pushes you off the edge. Yeah, like I said in the last episode, the first Spyro was like the best game that utilized mechanics for taking down enemies, and also mechanics that enemies have for taking you down. Like these guys are able to manipulate the environment and stuff. Just something that you, god darn, something that you didn't really see a whole lot of in the sequels. Let's get our first dragon in Alpine Ridge, who is named Zane. Billy Zane.
Oh, Spyro! You're not afraid of those big, noisy, gigantic, awful beasts, are you?
Of course not.
Oh, good. I didn't think so.
Yeah, I would say the Magic Crafters world in particular has some of my, favorite dragon designs, because as the name entails, they're all about, well, magic stuff and wizardry and all that good junk. And they were able to be really creative with these guys, like have them do all sorts of wizardry and sleight of hand and all that good stuff. It's really cool. Also, these guys look amazing. Oh, the dark, shadowy stuff that's like hidden under their robe. It looks really neat. I like it a lot. I gotta get me some more fodder soon. Sparks is looking a little bit, unwell. I gotta time these steps just right. Go quickly. Spyro needs to jump faster. There we go. The old 1, 2, 3 punch. Now that I'm all the way up here, I can glide over to this platform that was a lot more obvious than the one that I just flew from. God, that was close. Alright. And now you gotta time this glide just right as well. Please make it. Okay, good. Whew. Go over here. My gosh, look at this. This is one of the bigger levels that we've visited so far. There's a lot to do. And it also has the most gems out of any level we've visited so far, with a whopping 500. Our first 500, or... There we go. He almost got impaled on that dragon's wing. Nice. That's not dark at all. Eldred. Nice, strong, like, medieval-style name.
Thank you for releasing me.
You know, for a dragon named Eldred, he looks kind of dorky. I'm not gonna judge. I mean, I look pretty dorky myself. There's no shame in that. Dorks unite. And look at, oh, they're sleeping. Well, he's like sleep eating, I think. Here's a wake-up call for you. They never had a chance. Hi-ya! I love how these enemies in the Magic Crafter world actually say ow when you hit them. You actually feel their pain. And what's in this hole? Oh my gosh, it's a big monster. There's more monsters down here. Here there be monsters. I thought I got you. Darn it. Eat my flame. And I blew up these gems over here. And we hop our way back up the stairs. Over here. And this guy, yeah, he actually rides this enemy, which I think is pretty cool. Rides him into battle. Just to be snuffed out anyway. Let's get this dragon before we move on to anything else. Xander.
Great work, Spyro. If you keep this up, you'll learn all the tricks of the Magic Crafter's world.
Like how his wings actually look still crystallized. Wonder what the story is behind that. And another thing that you'll notice is that pretty much all of the dragons in this world like have a bit of an accent, like they roll their R's an awful lot. It's cute. This glide can be a bit tricky, but to get over here, you gotta glide all the way from the return home portal, and look at that, it's another thief.
Remember that these blue thieves have stolen eggs outside the Magic Crafter's world as well.
Don't worry, I'll take care of them.
See, I always thought that that dragon was pretty much telling you, hey, I know there's like a whole crap ton of thieves in the Magic Crafter's world, but it's not the only world that has them all, just so you know. You know, you should probably save the other ones, maybe? You know, on your own time? And this thief has quite a bit of, area to run around in, so he's a pretty flippin' annoying. Ugh, jeez. Especially considering you could fall off of this place at any second. And just like all thieves like this, the easiest way to get him is when you're like right behind him and he jumps off that ledge. Because when he jumps, he tends to slow down a little bit, and that's like the opportune moment to get to him. Not sure if the game devs really intended for that to happen, but it's a strategy that a lot of people tend to employ. Let's get these guys. I might be able to get them on this lap here. Might. If I time it just right. Ah, darn it. So close. Jeez. Even though I'm, like, really hugging these corners. Ah, crap. That was a waste. This may take a little while. Oh, maybe not. Ooh, got him. Nice. God, I hate the thieves in this game. Alright. And then over on these platforms are really tricky, because they have these fireworks crates that you need to light, and then fly away from them really quickly. Best way to get to them is to turn the camera so it's on it's focused on the next platform that you need to get to. Flame it, and then go. And also I see a gem that I missed over there. I'm glad I saw that. That way I don't have to have Sparks look out for it for me. Alright, and there's a gem hidden in the tall grass there, and this should be it. Bam. And again, we're pretty far away from the return home portal, so let's just exit the level from where we are. Wow. Wow. I love the sounds these enemies make so much. They did a good job recreating them. And then there's this thief. My god, like I said, there's so many thieves in this world alone. And this guy's just annoying because he just runs in a really small circle. But if you cut enough corners, you should be able to get to him fairly quickly. And there's a lot of enemies and chests that are like right close to the edge of doom and destruction. And then we can finally get to this guy down here who doesn't know how screwed he is, even though he's laughing at me. He did like a split second, oh crap, I'm in for it now reaction. That was cute. Alright. Let's get to these guys, and whoa! How do I get past this guy here? Maybe if I really quick, I can get him while his guard is down, and go! Nope! Not happening. So how do we get to him, you ask? What are these green arrows on the ground for? Let's see what this dragon has to say about it. Xantor, the High and Mighty.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge? Excellent.
Go ahead, try it.
Oh, it is most excellent, because... Chugga 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 dead! Love it. Inconveniently enough, the level that, like, really introduces the supercharger mechanic to you, like, in the most balls-to-the-wall way possible, is right here, High Caves. Let's go in. Now, this right here is one of the less linear levels in the game, because you can see there's already a split path, like right when you first start. Let's go a little bit down this way first, because oh my god, there's spiders! Really big spiders. And you can see that they have kind of a metal gleam to them, so they're big, so charging them won't work. And either we're flaming them. So let's not really do this right now. There are actually a couple ways that we can defeat those spiders, but let's go up this way first, where it's slightly more safe. At least there's more enemies that we can defeat here. I actually have quite a fear of spiders. I mean, it's not really to the point where if I just, like, see a picture or video of them that I'm, like, really creeped out. Because I know that they can't get to me from there, you know what I mean? But if I see a spider, like, right next to me or on me, then that's when I start, you know, whimpering like a little girl. I mean, certain kinds of spiders and bugs don't really bother me. Like, daddy long legs are chill, and, like, just ladybugs. I actually like ladybugs. They're pretty. But most bugs in general, like bugs that actually are big and have, like, weight to them, you know what I mean? Those are the ones that freak me out. Like wasps, especially. Like, wasps don't typically have that much weight to them. They aren't terribly big, but when I see that black and yellow, then I hightail it out of there. I actually had a very traumatizing experience with wasps when I was a little kid, but I'll get to that after I free Cyrus here.
Please do something about these green druids. They insist on moving everything in sight.
So I've noticed. And you can see they manipulate the environment to make it pretty hard even to just navigate the level. These glides can be a bit tricky if you don't time them just right. Ugh. So as I was saying, I had a pretty bad experience with wasps when I was about 3 years old. When I was 3 years old, and of course I was still living with my parents, in our backyard we had this tree that I liked climbing. It wasn't really that big of a tree, it was mostly just twigs and stuff, but you know, for a 3-year-old who's like really active and outside, it was fine. Also, there is a skill point here if you flame this painting. Gotta really press X at the very top of your jump and then flame it, just like that. Yeah, after a while, my mom warned me that, hey, you might not want to climb that tree anymore because there's a hornet's nest up there. Or a wasp's nest. It was some sort of nest with bugs that sting you. And, you know, I was a daring 3-year-old child. I didn't think anything could hurt me, so I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna just climb this tree anyway. Forget you, Mom. I love this tree.
I hate those bugs. When I become big and strong like you, I'll squash them all.
Until then, remember that supercharge makes you invincible.
Mm-hmm. That's quite a big hint you just gave me there, and look at that, the caves loop back around here. But yeah, I did end up climbing the tree again, you know, the silly, stupid, rebellious child that I was, and I actually climbed right to the top of it where the wasp's nest was, and they didn't really take very kindly to me invading their home, so one of them stung me right next to my eye, like literally right where the bone kind of sticks out. And by God, I was just bawling and screaming because how much it hurt. If he had gotten any closer to my eye, then I would have been in major trouble. But yeah, I had like a big old welt there for like a week. It was insane. And that's where my fear of not just wasps, but like any creepy crawlies came from. And this glide is a bit hard to make. Now that's something that is really cool about this game, because in this game if you glide and just press triangle, then you plummet right down, but in the sequels it introduces a hover mechanic that gives you a bit of extra height and distance at the end of your glide, and this game didn't really have that. However, in this version of the game, if you get like really... shut up already. If you get like really close to like beefing up your glide, then Spyro will do a sort of passive hover to get you the rest of the way, which is a really handy mechanic. I'm glad they added that. Yeah, and this thief has quite a lot of wiggle room as well. He's just about as annoying as the one in Alpine Ridge, except there's slightly less chance that you'll fall to your death, since there really isn't a place to fall off here. However, there are a lot more sharper turns, which makes it harder. I've realized that to navigate sharper turns, it's a lot easier to to use the D-pad to steer your charge rather than the stick. Look at all the eggs I have. My gosh, I think I'm only missing, what, 2? Well, I kind of want to see now. I'm missing 3, because you see that counter in the upper left there? There's a total of 12 eggs in the entire game. I have 9 right now. So now that I'm here, how in the world am I going to get back to the main level? Because I can't make that glide. However, if I just jump right down... Oh my gosh, fairies are saving me! And they guide me right to the top of the supercharge ramp. So handy. So convenient. This is the only level in the entire trilogy that, like, saves you from falling. Let's take a sharp turn here and get rid of these bugs! It's really hard to get these guys in one go, but I managed to do it! Awesome, and now we can pick up the rest of the gems that we missed. Okay, getting all those guys in one supercharge can be a bit of a pain in the butt, because a lot of times you'll find that some of the spiders are like tucked in a corner somewhere, and you don't really realize that they're there until you turn the corner. And considering you're supercharging, you're going a lot faster, your reaction time is, sacrificed a little bit. So here's all of that. However, there is a set of stairs over by here, in which there's even more spiders. And as you can see, we can't get to the supercharge from there, because 1, it's a bit too sharp of a turn, and 2, you can't jump up these stairs while you're supercharging, because you'll just bump right into them. So how do we take care of these guys? Well, first let's get rid of this druid, because all he does is just close up the way forward. As does this guy over here. And over here, you'll see there's a fairy friend. And what does she do? She gives me a little kiss. And look at me now! My gosh, I look so badass. And up. Ooh, there we go! And see that meter on your right there? Ah. Every time a fairy kisses you like that, your flame becomes stronger for a limited time. See, it looks like purple now, or pinkish. And now it just looks like the normal orange. Kind of helps you get rid of enemies that are both too big to charge and metallic. Alright, and now we can use the supercharge to jump off this ramp here and enter these caves, just like that. And get a whole crap ton of treasure. And also a dragon. What does the dragon have to say? Cedric, the entertainer.
Try combining your supercharge with jumping and gliding, and really explore the high caves.
Which is what I just did. Also, when he said gliding, I like how his wings just flapped a little bit. Like his wings were saying, oh, someone talking about me? Talking about gliding? I like to glide. Let's glide. Let's do it right now. See what I mean about the passive hover? If that passive hover didn't happen, then I would have plummeted right down. I mean, the fairies would have saved me anyway, but stuff like that just saves me a little bit of time. So let's hop over to this area over here. My gosh, the supercharge is like way overpowered in this version of the game. It may sound cool at first until you just go plummeting right into the very top of the cave that you were trying to enter. Get all these, and there's one more thief in this world. The easiest way to get to him is not to go around this pond here, but rather to glide across it and try to cut him off. Just like that. And I even skipped the animation where I collect the egg because I fell down in the middle of it. Now let's see if I can actually glide over to this cave over here. It's a bit tricky, but doable. Yes! And this should be the rest of the gems. Excellent. And so that's High Caves done. Like I said, one of the less linear levels. You don't really get a whole lot of levels that are this encourage exploration this much in the sequels, so kind of miss levels like this. They're really cool. But alas, it is time for us to go. And since I'm returning to this level, all of the enemies respawn, which means I need to take this guy out again. Not a problem. Bam! Go over here. And there's another dragon in a portal just right here. As plain as can be.
This portal leads to a special place where you can learn to fly. I remember when I was a young dragon, earning my wings.
Learn to fly. Got it.
Spyro's just like, shut up, old man. Get out of here, you old lady! Why are you so ageist, Spyro? What have you got against old people? Yeah, and this is the very first, flight level in the game that pretty much just spells out where it is. All the rest of them are kinda sorta hidden. Well, some are more hidden than others, I should say. But this is the first one in the game that just says, hey, this is a flying level. Go fly. Earn your wings, kid. And it also kind of hints that, you know, if this is the first flying level that you've discovered so far in the game, it kind of hints that, hey, there's actually flying levels in the other home worlds as well. You just gotta kinda go out of your way to find them. Which is very much the case for, the flight level in Artisans. And I'm actually getting very close to the point in which I actually reveal why I haven't, gone to that one yet. Oh god, I might, frick this up. Because I was going a little bit faster than the planes were. But yeah, this is another, flight level in the game in which the order in which you need to get everything is pretty much spelled out for you. Nothing that's, like, too extreme, nothing you have to go terribly out of your way for. And then these chests over here. There's just like a nice flow to it. Just all the rings, all the arches, all the planes, all the chests. All stacked up in a row for you. All lined up. This one might actually be a bit easier than Night Flight, because you're given a bit more time to do it all in. The one in Night Flight seems to be a bit more strict, because I finished that one with, like, what, 2 or 3 seconds to spare? This one I had, like, what, 12, something like that? So yeah, Crystal Flight might be the easiest one. Which makes sense, it's like I said, the first one in the game that's just like, hey, here's a flight level for you. Makes sense, don't it? Alright. Bunch of easy gems just coming my way. Alright. Now see, we have a lockbox here. With no key, it's just a straight-up lockbox. How do we get to it, you ask? Well, you know how in the last episode I said that there were several ways that you could, open up lockboxes? If, you know, they're kind of, context-sensitive, if you will. Well, if you go down the supercharge and you're really good at steering and have quick reflexes, then bam! Wow, that was pathetic. Let me try that again. Oh, that hurts me. That hurts my confidence so much. Oh, no. I've been playing this game for 20 years, I swear. I am the best at it. I am a veteran. Respect your elders. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. Much better. Then there's these guys here. These guys look so good. You flame them, and then their robe just sort of disintegrates. Or the contents of the robe, I should say, disintegrates. Then their whole being just flops down along with them. It's so neat. Now here's Wizard Peak. I'm not going to enter that quite yet, because there's something I want to do really quick first. So you can see this tower over here in the middle of the pond does have an entrance, and what does it house? Another freaking key! But you're probably saying, well, DT, I see a key, but I haven't seen any lockboxes around here. So why is it that you're going back where you came if there isn't a lockbox back here? Well, my curious friend, the lockbox is actually hidden in a cave all the way over here. Look at that. This cave is pretty darn easy to miss. Pretty much the only way that you can see that there's a cave here is if you're like, hey, I want to go to Alpine Ridge, but then you just happen to look over here and see that over there. Doesn't it look so inviting? And now you just need to look for a high place from which to glide over there. And the high place is right next to high caves. Fancy that. Alright, now that that's done, I'd say we can go to Wizard Peak now. Which, in my opinion, is one of the harder levels in the game. It's one of the levels that employs, like, the supercharge, jump and glide. Which there is another level later in the game that does that even more, and is even less forgiving. And those of you who've played the game, or have even heard of this game, probably know which level I'm talking about. But we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, Wizard Peak. Alright, here we are. These guys have really quick reaction times when it comes to their clubs. Oh my gosh, I love this. Like the inside of this building with the water, and it has like the reflecting lights on there. That's really well done. I really like that effect. I like that effect in any game, really, but this one just looks extra pretty. Yeah. I'm not sure if you noticed, but a lot of these enemies are actually conjured by these wizards up here, and as you can see, it's a bit difficult to get to them from where we are. But I'll show you how to get to them soon, once I clear out all these guys. Ugh. See what I mean about reaction times? These enemies are just, they're insane. You gotta have a quick trigger finger to get them. Oh, jeez. Now for those, see what I mean? That wizard up there just conjured that guy out of nothing. They call this magic crafters for a reason, you know? It's not just the dragons that are able to conjure magic. Now for those 90s babies out there who thinks that this song sounds a bit familiar, there is a reason for that. And I'll tell you after freeing this guy.
Welcome to Wizard Peak. This is my favorite supercharged spot. Use it to bash those wizards.
I can see why it's your favorite. Also, I just realized your wings actually look like bird wings. They're like feathery and not scaly. Kind of weird. But yeah, the composer of this game's music, Stuart Copeland, not only did music for Spyro and, played for the Police, but he also did some music for some shows on Nickelodeon back in the 90s and early 2000s. In one of the shows that he was a part of, see, this is like the very start of the level right here, and, well, I beefed that up, didn't I? But yeah, Stuart Copeland did a lot of work for Nickelodeon shows back in the day. And one of the shows that he did the theme song for was The Amanda Show. And music that goes along with Wizard Peak is essentially a slightly tweaked remix of the theme song to The Amanda Show. So yeah, nice little factoid for you. Just this game is like the pinnacle of, only 90s babies will understand. Alright, so we're up here, and there are a few extra gems scattered around, which, is all well and good. But this is also how we get to those wizards that were up there before. And this is like a really goofy glide to make. Like, you need to have like a good memory of the level layout in order to realize that you need to make that glide. And see, now we're back here where the pond was. But if we keep going down the pathway that we did from the start, then we're able to get to that wizard up there, which I will show you how to do right now. If you just come back here and go over here to where these other gems are. Get out of my way. Yeah, the sheep and fodder in these games have like a lot more weight to them, so if you're not careful, then these guys could push you off the edge. Might want to flame them now and just be done with it. Also, Sparks is going through a freaking wall trying to chase that butterfly. Well done, game. Just very gently drop down here to where these other gems are. And this one is a little bit more obvious, because the platform's like right over there. And bam! Another dead wizard. He was about to conjure up some snowballs, but nope. I beat him to it. Alright, so now we go back this way and finally get back to that dragon that we freed earlier so we can supercharge some wizards. He was excited. I know I am. Hiya! Ugh, so satisfying. There's also some goodies up here that we can get. Bam! I love it. I love bashing those wizards. Do you think there's like a Hogwarts for dragons? Especially for the magic crafter dragons? So they can actually learn how to, craft magic? See, I don't think I'll be able to make that glide from where I am. However, you can see there's like several supercharges just all over the place, and there's another lockbox here. I wonder how we open that. And if we go down several ramps worth of supercharge, then we're able to get an even faster supercharge and an even bigger jump and glide. So if we actually use this as an upward ramp, then woo! We're able to make the glide, maybe. I am so embarrassed right now. This is probably one of my worst runs of Wizard Peak that I've had in a while. It's always when I'm like doing a video or a stream that I'm like the most conscious of what I'm doing. Because I know I'll have some people watching it. Let's try that again. Maybe even get a life back while we're at it. There you go. If you jump like at the very tippy top of the ramp, then you're able to make it. And you get just gems galore. Also, if you listen closely, you can hear a thief. Why would you hear a thief on this platform where there's no thief? That's because he's hidden behind here. Thankfully, this guy doesn't run. He just he just taunts you for a bit. And then, yeah. Thankfully, he doesn't run around this incredibly narrow and dangerous pathway, which I'm very grateful for. And now we can make the glide back down here, which is a little bit tricky, but if you just remember the dragon's frick. Remember the dragon's frick. Or the dragon's advice, rather. Son of a gun, I hate these guys. If you like really do a really big jump and then press the X button at the very top, and always hold forward on the left stick, then you should be golden. Hello, Hexus. Did you put a hex on me? You put a spell on me!
Well done, Spyro. Thank you for releasing me.
That is a dope staff you got there. I want one of those. Get the rest of these guys. I think I've killed all these wizards before, so they'll just have these crystals here. Now let's get to this lockbox over here, and also there's a bunch of gems hidden over here. And also what looks like a ramp that leads up to that platform over there. And you probably have a pretty good idea of how we can get up there by this point. So rather than tell you, let me show you. And I'll probably fail again because I'm oddly self-conscious right now, I guess. I'm actually going to get to that lockbox later because it's a lot easier to go around it this way, and then boom! Done. And also there's sheep up here, which I'm quite grateful for. And it's a sheep that gives us an extra life and full health, so I'm extra grateful. And there's even more gems along this narrow pathway here. That's about all there is there. Then we can go back to these other platforms. These platforms, it's kind of weird to like point out how good platforms look in a game, but look at like that pinkish crystal that's like radiating from the bottom and near the base there. I'm a sucker for like really bright, vibrant colors. And this game has that in spades. It doesn't really overwhelm me with it either. It's just like, I don't know, it fits the tone of the game really well. So now let's go to the top of this one so we can get that lockbox. Yeah, give me that 25er. And now there's like a whole gauntlet of enemies that we have to plow through to get to the top of this hill. And they are really annoying. And guess what? Another thief. And I believe this is the very last one in the game. It should say all eggs found. Yeah. So, yep. In all the rest of the 3 homeworlds in the game, there isn't a single egg thief. Oh my gosh. Big old pudger. Oh god, these guys here are really... dodge them, and then get them, and then be victorious. Good. And that's all of the gems, and this is the last dragon. And this dragon is actually very, very important. Let's listen to what he has to say. Lucas Allen.
Listen carefully, Spyro. There's a secret area in the artisan's home world near a waterfall. Try jumping on the stones there.
Artisan's homeworld? Waterfall. Sounds good.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It's a secret area that we already kind of knew about, but yeah. So instead of going to the return home portal and just going all the way back to Artisans manually, this game has a special little feature that you can actually fast travel to worlds that you've already been to. See how it says travel down there at the bottom? Just press the X button and you're good to go. So yeah. This is a feature that was kind of sort of featured in Spyro 3, but it was something that you actually unlocked near the very end of the game. But here, it's available in all 3 games right from the get-go, which makes backtracking a lot easier, especially for those who aren't familiar with the game and are like playing it for the first time. So without further ado, let's go back to the Artisans and unlock that special area. And here we are back at the waterfall, the lovely looking waterfall that looks like it's brewing popcorn for some reason. Now if we hop on all of the stones, doesn't matter which order, just as long as you hop on each of them once, it reveals something very, very special, namely Sunny Flight, which is oddly one of the harder flight levels in my opinion. Now this level is actually available to unlock from the start of the game. You just jump on the stones and it unlocks automatically without you freeing that dragon. But, you know, for the sake of the walkthrough, I figured I'd free the dragon first and then go from there. But this one is a little bit haphazard in its distribution. Because all of the barrels here do go on a train track, which makes it a bit easier. But what I like to do to ensure that I get everything is get this arch over here first, this one over here, and then there's just a bunch of planes all clustered together going in no particular fashion, just kind of flying all over the place. Which makes them a bit harder to get to. The one thing that does make this a bit easier than other flight levels is that every one of these things that you get contributes 3 seconds to your time. Whereas all the other flight levels have the occasional 3-seconder, but are mixed in with like 1 and 2 second things. But everything here gives you 3 seconds, which tends to give you plenty of time to clear everything up. The rest of these arches. And if you do a bit of a hard right over here to this cave, you'll see all of the chests. And you gotta be really quick with these guys, because they're pretty close together and you gotta turn pretty sharply to get to all of them. And after we're done with that, hopefully we'll have enough time to get the rest of the barrels. Let's hope so. I mean, with each train you get, there's actually 2 barrels per train, and they automatically give you 6 seconds. I think I saw a train go through here. Oh man, okay, hold on. Oh god, I might have messed this up. Right, hopefully the next train is on its way. If not, then I might have to restart. Oh, there it is. Bam, done. Definitely not my best run of Sunny Flight, but I'm not going for the best time, I'm just going for all the gems. Now that that's done, let's actually go back to Magic Crafters, since Artisans is 100% done now, and we never have to come back here again. Alright, now we're back in this area. Let's clean up the rest of these gems. Time that just right, and whoa! It's like one of those drop rides at Six Flags. Nice. Dodge these guys. Nice, that's Magic Crafter's hub complete. Then there's this guy over here, the balloonist, who's able to take us to the next world for collecting so many dragon eggs. But first, let's encounter the Magic Crafter's boss, whose name is Blowhard. Bit of a suggestive name, I know, but there's actually a good reason for that. Let's find out what it is. Yeah. These guys are, ooh, again, with the crazy reaction time. I love how these guys look, but the level itself, I'm not really totally sold on the redesign, and there's one reason why I'm not. I mean, I do love that giant windmill in the background. I think that's a great touch. Something that's unnecessary but welcome, but the level itself has a very muted color to it. You know, the rest of the game is very vibrant. I know that colder levels in the game tend to have like this blue tinge to them, but this one just, I don't know, makes the whole place look kind of dead, honestly, like barren of life. It's kind of weird. So this is the only boss in the game in which you actually hit him several times throughout the course of the level. It's not just, hey, here's the boss battle, it's here's the boss battle and then more level to explore. This guy's really easy. You just gotta dodge his little lightning bolts, and whenever he comes down, just jump up and flame him. And then he just runs away like a little wimp. And this level has one of the easiest skill points to attain, but it's also one that's really easy to miss if you don't know what it is beforehand. All you gotta do is stay on one of these moving druid platforms for 10 seconds. And there it is, bam, done. And now you can just go ahead and kill these guys. And yeah, you know, it said Art Gallery unlocked. Let me actually go to the skill point here. There's 2 pages worth of skill points, and if you complete an entire page, then it unlocks an art gallery that has like all of this cool concept art. The many faces of Spyro. It's really cool. I know in the other games, specifically the original Spyro 2 and 3, if you collected enough skill points, then it unlocked an epilogue, sort of like a where are they now kind of thing for the characters. I was kind of hoping that they kept that here, but that concept art is always kind of cool.
Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. You have no idea how long I've been trapped in Crystal. And, neither do I. Who are you again?
I'm out of here.
Darn it, Spyro, you're just... Ugh, why do you hate old people? Did your grandfather never love you? Another thing that I like about the designs for the Magic Crafter dragons is that they have, like, the most gnarled-looking horns out of all of them. Like, their horns, like, spiral all out of control. They look like overgrown fingernails. It's probably, like, the same concept, because aren't horns on, like, cows and bulls and stuff, and fingernails made out of the same material? I think it is, like, keratin or something like that. It's been a while since, third grade science, so forgive me if I'm wrong about that. I know that fingernails and hair, I think, are made of similar materials. If not, then I'm just sounding like a freaking dumbass at this point. Not having any idea what I'm talking about. Then there's the final hit for this guy. He is just such a pushover. He really does blow hard. And there's that level done. Easy. That's probably one of the easier and quickest boss levels in the game. There's another one that's coming up that's both has, in my opinion, the hardest boss and also has, like, the hardest and longest environment to actually get to him and 100% complete. But alas, we are not there yet, so why am I even talking about it at this point? So that is Magic Crafters completely done. Let's actually get another hit point before we move on to the next world.
Thank you, Spyro, for recovering so many of our dragon eggs.
My pleasure.
Hop aboard for the Beastmaker's world if you're ready. Would you like to go?
I am ready. As you can tell by the name alone, the Beastmaker's world is kind of a spooky place. It's honestly my least favorite world in the game. It was definitely my least favorite world in the original game because it was just so spooky and honestly kind of depressing. But honestly, I really like how they designed it in this version, and you'll see why in just a second.